Hey, sup? I don't know why I'm nervous right now. I haven't seen you guys since October. It's February. I'm just gonna put some makeup on my face and we can talk about where I've been. This is probably gonna be a long video, so get a beverage. So, let me go ahead and start with my face. I'm going to prime with the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Face Primer. So basically, the last I saw you guys was in the middle of October, and that was going fine. And then I went to the doctor, just like a routine lady doctor visit. Everything was great down there. It was fine, I guess. Suddenly very aware that I'm on the internet. My doctor pointed out that I had a lump in my breast. For reference, I'm 31. I don't have a history of cancer in my family that I am aware of. I'm priming with my primer potion as usual, but I had known about the lump since, I don't know, probably like 8 years, but I really hadn't had very good insurance. And then by the time I did get insurance, I was like, if I just ignore it, it doesn't exist, which is failed logic. It's in fact not the case that if I ignore it, like it still existed. It was still there, grown away in my boob. So my doctor was like, yo, you're gonna have to like get that checked out and stuff. So I did. I had to get a special mammogram and what is it called? Like a sonogram basically, but not a sonogram. I don't know. There's a lot of noises going on, by the way. So if you hear a lot of noises, sorry, don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna go in with my Bobbi Brown Longwear Cream Shadow Stick that I got in my Sephora Play box. Yeah, so I had to get mammogram done, and she basically told me, like, my doctor was like, listen, I'm gonna send you to this specific mammogram because they'll tell you that day basically what they think. Like, I'm not gonna have to wait for results, which was relatively true. They did the thing, the tests, the imaging, whatever, and they were like, yes, there's definitely something there. We can't tell what it is exactly until you have a biopsy. So I had to be referred to a specialist. So I went to the doctor mid-October and then had my mammogram probably 2 weeks later. And then my surgeon almost a month later. And the surgeon basically ran the sonogram over my boob and was like, yeah, there's definitely something there. And I'm like, I already know. I already spent $800 getting pictures of my tumor. We're gonna call her Karen, my tumor, not my doctor. I already knew that I had a Karen in there, and that was not the surprising part. I'm going in with my Anastasia Jackie Aina palette and the color Ginger. So she, she was like, okay, that'll be $600. You have a Karen. And then, sorry if your name's Karen. And I was like, all right, cool, now what? She's like, well, we need to see what Karen is. And she was basically like, okay, listen, we can go in with a needle and take out a piece, or we can just cut out the whole thing. And they basically thought that it was between a fibroadenoma, which is a totally benign tumor that is like hormone dependent, like it grows in the presence of female hormones, but it's not necessarily caused by those hormones. I'm not a doctor, so take all of this as you will. But if it wasn't the fibroadenoma, because it was relatively large, I think they said it was like 4.5 centimeters. I think that's right. Because it was so large, they were worried that it was something called a phyllodes tumor, which is a type of tumor that, from my understanding, is benign up until the point it's about 4 or 5 centimeters. Then it can become malignant, so then it can turn into cancer. But there's really no way to know, and there's no way to know like when that cancer point is, and there's no way to know like how aggressive the cancer is gonna be. So they had to do a biopsy either through a needle aspiration where they stick a needle in the core of it and just take out a sample, or by taking out the whole tumor. And me and my husband are trying to conceive. So I was like, let's just get it over with. Like, take it. I'm not particularly partial to having a tumor in my boob. That's not part of my identity. Like, please take it out. But then that's a surgery, like, I had to be put under, whatever. So I had a surgery the week of Christmas. So from October to Christmas, I'm finally getting the tumor removed. And then I had to wait a week for the results. Long story short, I do not have cancer. Thank God. It's truly a blessing. It's wonderful. But through that period, from October to late December, I was pretty convinced that I did have cancer. And that's just the type of person I am. Like, I have anxiety. I think you guys know this. But I try to work through the worst case scenario so that when that scenario comes, if that scenario comes, I feel like I am prepared for the different options. Which is flawed logic, I understand, but it's the way my brain works, and it's kind of like a safety net. I'm sure some of y'all can relate. But yeah, so I was going through, like, what would happen? What does that mean for me trying to conceive? What does that mean for my husband? Like, we haven't even been married a year. What happens if, God forbid, I die? Like, all of these horror stories, like truly working through the worst case scenario. Through this whole time, from October to December, just anxiety, crying, not wanting to like talk about it because I don't want to make people worried. But you know, it's a cancer scare. It's scary. It's fine now. But yeah, that was challenging. I'm glad that it's not cancer. I'm glad that the tumor is gone. My surgery went really well. So if you have some sort of surgery that is coming up, I empathize with you. It's a very scary thing. My surgery, I was in the surgery center for maybe 2 or 3 hours. I came out of sedation like talking up a storm, telling them about my dreams, and the nurses were like, whoa, this lady is really awake. Okay. I went home, ate like normal, didn't really have any pain, had like a little bit of throbbing pain, but like nothing really bad. I took some Advil because I was afraid it was gonna get worse, but overall I was fine. I was prescribed some heavy pain medicine that I did not need and didn't take, so that was great. My scar just looks kind of like a cat scratch. Like, my scar is probably about that big now. And it's right next to my nipple, if you care. It's weird, I don't know. But yeah, recovery was way better than the time leading up to surgery. So that was really good, and I was thankful for that. I still haven't had any complications, no pain, no infection, no nothing. So yeah, that chapter has been closed. I go back for a follow-up appointment in probably June, just to double check that nothing else is growing. I have a little piece of metal there so that in the future when I get regular mammograms, they will know that I had a thing there. I don't know. They didn't tell me about the metal piece until I asked, because I was like, what am I feeling? And they were like, oh, we left a little metal device. And I was like, oh, okay. I would have liked to have known that, but that's cool. That's cool, whatever. Between that time and now, nothing has really been going on. Like I said, we're trying to conceive, and that is like a journey in itself. I don't want to go too much into it because that's not what I'm about. I'm not an expert. I will say I finished reading a book called It Starts with the Egg that has been very informative and helpful and encouraging through this process. Oh, that's the other thing. I have an autoimmune, man, this color really kicks up a lot of dust. I'm going in with Big Wig now. Should I even narrate what I'm doing? I don't know. Everything will be linked down below if I can remember. But yeah, I have an autoimmune thyroid disorder. It's called Hashimoto's hypothyroiditis. I've had it since I was 8 or 9, and I never really cared because I have never really noticed the symptoms. Like, I understand that the symptoms are there, but I don't feel like I've ever known anything different. So when I'm on my medicine, when I'm not on my medicine, it all kind of just feels the same. So I haven't really cared. Now that I'm in this chapter of my life, I now know that it can cause infertility, and if I am lucky enough to conceive, it puts me at a higher risk of miscarriages, especially into the second trimester. So that's fun to find out when you're newly married. In case you're wondering, basically my thyroid is being attacked by my immune system and therefore not able to produce all of the thyroid hormones that it would normally make. So the symptoms are tiredness, inflammation, like general puffiness, cool, weight gain, dry skin, dry hair, intolerance to cold. I'm literally cold as we speak. But my main symptoms are obviously the weight and hormone imbalances. Like I've always had hormonal, not always, but as an adult I've had hormonal acne, and then extreme fatigue, and it also affects your mental health. It can cause anxiety and depression. Check and check. It's great. But the infertility is really what I'm worried about now, because I feel like the other symptoms I've just learned to cope with to an extent. I am generally a very tired, lazy person, so I don't really know what's the disease and what's just me being me. But yeah, so once I get to a good level with my medicine, so basically they put me on synthetic thyroid hormones for the rest of my life, and once I'm at a good level, the symptoms and hopefully the, I don't even want to call it the infertility, but my current inability to get pregnant, hopefully will all kind of resolve itself, and I shouldn't need to worry too much about miscarriages. We will see. I found out that, and correct me if I'm wrong, so if you're like a medical professional, please fact check me on this one, but from what I know, if your thyroid is not working properly during pregnancy, the baby's thyroid will actually give you thyroid hormones so that you, the mother, can then continue and be healthy. So like your levels might go up or go somewhat normal during pregnancy, but it's at the detriment of your baby, and I don't want that. It sounds very precious and very sweet, but it's actually pretty bad. Because your thyroid is in control of a lot of things. It's like kind of the hub of your endocrine system. So I need to like, but even that's a journey. I am back on my medicine after like basically 10 years off of it, and I basically have to like be on my medicine for 4 to 6 weeks for my levels to be affected by it, and then I have to get my blood test done, and then from the blood test adjust my medicine accordingly. And I think my levels are still low, and so I had like called my gynecologist like, hey, I need to get my test again, and they were like, no, we want you to see an endocrinologist, which is a doctor who specializes in hormones. I had seen an endocrinologist when I first got the diagnosis, like a pediatric endocrinologist, and they basically just looked at my thyroid, felt my thyroid, and gave me the appropriate medicine, and never heard from him again. So the idea of going to an endocrinologist now, frankly, after I've dealt with all of this medical stuff and I'm still paying off this medical stuff, I just don't want to. I just want it to be fixed. I know that I just need to get my medicine a little bit higher dosage and everything will be fine. And so it's frustrating to me that I have to go see another specialist and, you know, pay the specialist fees and then be on the medicine, or, you know, get the blood test and then get an appropriate prescription and then be on their prescription for another month and a half, and then have my levels tested again to see if I'm close. And that's frustrating, but hopefully the bright side is like being with an endocrinologist, hopefully they know what they're talking about and they know which tests to do, because a lot of times I've gone to a doctor and be like, I have Hashimoto's, and they're like, cool, let me just do the standard thyroid test. I'm like, no, you need to do the thyroid panel, because it's really the, like my TSH is always like, it's low, but it's on the low end of normal. And so people are like, oh, like you're fine. And I'm like, no, you need to look at everything else. And then all of my other numbers, like they're like crazy high. So when you look at the whole picture, you see like, oh, her thyroid is working really, really hard to barely keep up, which if that's not a metaphor for my mental health. I don't know what is, but hopefully seeing an endocrinologist, they'll understand the full picture and they'll have more insight for me, because obviously I'm not a professional, I'm not an expert, I'm just somebody who's been living with this disease for 20 plus years. So that'll be good. Maybe there's more that I need to know. I've also heard that I need to cut out dairy and gluten, so I'd like to get a medical professional's input on that rather than just like what the internet says. I've done Whole30 and I didn't really feel much gluten intolerant or dairy intolerant. I didn't really feel those effects. I think Whole30 was good for me just because I was eating vegetables and that is bound to make you feel better, but they say, yeah, you gotta cut out gluten. I guess that's what I'll do, but I'm hoping that they'll have some insight as to what all's going on. So yes, I think you can tell from my demeanor that the whole situation is frustrating to me, which I'm sorry if this video is like a bummer. Like I don't, it's just where I'm at right now. But yeah, I have been dealing with all of that, which is fine. Like I'm making it seem like it's all just been like catastrophic things, but it's not. It's just been like, it's like when you have a tiny pebble in your shoe and you like reach into your shoe and you don't feel anything with your hand, but as soon as your foot is in there, you can feel it. That's kind of what I feel like, you know, from a mental perspective of just like, everything's fine. I have so much to be grateful in my life. Like, I've got an amazing husband, I've got a roof over my head, like I have a really good life. But just that little grain of sand in my brain just going like, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong, is frustrating. But beyond that, I think in terms of YouTube, I've been gone because, I don't know, like, I hate saying that I burn myself out because I've experienced actual burnout in my life and this was not it. This was just me, like YouTuber was a lot. It was a lot of work, it was a lot of time, a lot of planning, and then to have that like cancer scare right at the peak of the YouTuber stress just like threw it all off balance, and I was like, I don't want to. I don't want to be in front of a camera when I don't feel good. I don't want to be in front of a camera talking about makeup when I'm questioning my own mortality. I mean, I don't want to get deep, but that's what it was. So I didn't. I just kind of removed myself from the situation, which I think was the right decision for me, but this is still something I want to do. I'm gonna go in with my ColourPop palette that I made, and I'm going to take the color Mr. Sandman that is kind of a taupey bluey, yeah, it's like a taupey purple bluey pink. I'm gonna put that in the center of my lid. Yeah, okay. So the state of my channel currently is positive. I don't know. I recently have been getting a lot of views on my Kristen S review video, which is amusing to me because the quality on that video is terrible, god awful, so grainy, so pixelated, so bad. I'm gonna take this gold color in the palette that has the name called 20 something. It is a bright yellow gold color. I'm gonna take that. I don't know, this is just kind of turning into a mess. I'm gonna take that just in the center of the lid. So yeah, that Kristen S video is now my highest rated video of all time. Not highest rated, my most watched video. It has the highest views. And I don't feel great about that. Like, why that video? Like, the content is fine, but I'm really rambly in that. Much like this video. And then the quality is just so bad and pixelated, and I don't know. Why? So that's not ideal, but it is what it is. I don't know. I feel like I just need to get this video out, get everything said that I need to say so that I can move forward with actual content. I guess I should do some foundation. Oh no, I wanted to add some black to this. I'm gonna go in with Soft Glam and take the color Noir and carve out the outer corner. Part of my journey right now, thanks to that book I'm reading, or finished reading, I have like a couple pages left to go, but I have to take it in chunks. Part of that has been trying to use more natural products without fragrance, without chemicals that are endocrine disruptors, etc., etc. So with that, I'm trying to switch out some of my products, but like I have a lot of products that I don't want to just throw away or stop using if they work well, you know? So I'm trying to really do my research and find more natural products. And then with that, I feel like it's only natural to kind of try to be more conscious with my purchases in terms of eco-friendliness. So this is all a journey, and I'm really learning a lot. So if you are a fan of natural makeup and natural products, will you please share with me some things? I was thinking about making a video of products that I've already switched, because I do have some good ones. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments below. Okay, let's do some foundation. I'm going to do the MAC Studio Water Weight Foundation for no reason other than I just really need to use this up. Oh, I guess we can talk about improv, because I've still been doing that. That's going well. It's kind of a mind game, because I think I've touched on this before in another video, but when I was doing improv previously, I did not feel like I was the best at it. I enjoyed it and I had a good time and I liked the people I was doing it with, but I did not feel like I was necessarily successful in a lot of ways. And that is still true. I think I've grown a lot in the however long, like 8 years that I wasn't doing improv. Like as a performer, I've grown a lot. As an improviser, I've grown a lot. And as a person, I've grown a lot. Here's an example. This past weekend, I was in a show and we were basically we asked the audience what each of the performers, like what celebrity we looked like. And I got Melissa McCarthy, which is fine. But then we had to do a scene as that celebrity. And I got up on stage and I looked at my scene partner and he looked at me, and then I did nothing at all. I didn't make a big statement. I opened an imaginary fridge and ate an imaginary piece of chicken, which is kind of offensive. I guess it's offensive to me. I don't know, but it just like wasn't good. It was objectively not good. I did a bad job. And like that's the nature of improv. It's fine. I've had plenty of scenes that go like that. But it's just an example of like how, you know, a month ago, it's like an elimination style show. So the audience votes off players based on their performance. And then at the end, there's one person and they won. And, you know, to me, it doesn't really mean anything when I'm eliminated. Like, it's just how the show has to go. But when I won, I like really was in shock. So it's funny to me that like a month ago, I won this show. And then this time I got up on stage and just couldn't even do a plain scene. Just couldn't do it. And I just like didn't say anything. I didn't give my partners much to go on. The audience voted the scene accordingly. I think they gave us a 3 out of 5, which is generous, but it's fine. But then the rest of the show, the audience gave every other scene a 5. Every other scene. And I was like, okay, that's a pretty clear message. Thank you, audience. I got you. And like, it's fine. I'm not beating myself up over it. I'm just like trying to figure out why. Like, why did I do that? And improv is such like a weird headspace, because on one hand, you have to give your partner something to work with, and that, you know, is really helpful. But on the other hand, you have to be able to like receive what's given to you. And there are some times that I just like not that I freeze, I don't know, I just like block. I don't know. And not like I'm blocking the scene. Like if somebody gives me something in that moment, I'm fine and I can go on with it. Whether I make the greatest choices or not is debatable. But this was just totally like me getting up there like, yeah, okay, I know how to start a scene. And then I got up there and nothing happened. Just my brain was like, and then what? But there's no end then. And like I said, like I'm not beating myself up over it. I'm just trying to understand what happened, and I'm not there yet. But it's just like, I want to talk to people about this, but I know that there's not really many people who can understand it. And then even if I do figure it out, or I figure out like, oh, what I should have done, it's hard because that scene will never exist again. Like, it's gone. It just floats away. In terms of waiting tables, that's going great. I don't really feel like I'm like the world's best server, but I'm confident, I'm proficient, I'm very capable at my job. And it's funny because I'm pretty much, am I the oldest person on staff on the floor? No, but I'm one of. And it's just weird. I really enjoy the people I work with, and it's been fun. But I was encouraged to download TikTok, and I just don't understand it. Like, don't know how to use the app. And TikTok like offers a lot of content to me that I just don't understand. Like a lot of like different people do the same 3 dances. I don't understand that phenomenon. I can see how that would be fun to make that content, but I don't see how that's fun to watch. Cause like I'll watch some dance videos on YouTube, but it's usually people who have choreographed things, and I like seeing that rather than just a million people doing over and over again. I don't really get it. I don't know how to post content on TikTok, so don't expect that content. I don't even know what I would make, so I don't know. Is TikTok all people lip syncing to things? I mean, I know there are some people that are making very original content, but a lot of it is like, how can I do my spin on somebody else's monologue? I don't know. It's very strange to me. Like, in my life, that's just learning a monologue for an audition. I wouldn't post that on the internet. I mean, maybe I should. I don't know. I'm gonna use my Profusion's blush palette, and I'm gonna use the color Great. I didn't know that was the name of that shade, but it's just called Great. And I'm gonna really go for it with the blush, because why not? I want to talk about that video that's getting a lot of views, but I also kind of don't. Like, I don't really know how to feel about it. I will say that video is not, I have my second thumbs down of my channel on that video. This will be my third, so that's cool. And YouTube is funny because it doesn't tell you who thumbs up, who thumbs down. It's just like a very anonymous rating, which is fine. YouTube also doesn't tell me who subscribes unless they have that in that setting of just like, yeah, tell the people I follow that I follow them. So that's interesting. YouTube is like very weird in that aspect. But I do know on that video, the Kristen S video, it's not very well watched. Like, people click on it because I guess my thumbnail is good, although I don't really think that it is. I don't know what it is about that video that has people clicking on it, but people click on it and then are just like, nah, I'm out. Click out after like 2 minutes. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I get it. It hurts, but I get it. I guess that's also why I kind of took a step away. I was really getting invested in the growth of my channel, and then my growth slowed down substantially. I did some research to try and figure out what to do, how to counteract that, how to grow a little bit more. And the more I learned, the less it made sense, because it's all very like, when YouTubers talk about the algorithm has so many factors, and you know, you don't really know what the algorithm is really gonna prefer that day. You're just trying to appease something that doesn't exist. Like, this algorithm is just a math equation in a computer somewhere that has just decided, like, yeah, hey, that girl lives in a van, we should tell people about it. And I'm like, okay, well, I think when you grow that quickly, it can be hard, to sustain that growth. It's just not possible. You can't get 1 million views the first month and then get 2 million views the next month. Like, it's just not gonna grow like that. Talking when doing bright pink lip liner is not a good idea, but I'm doing it, okay? This is because I love you. It's fine. I still look in the viewfinder. It's fine. Everything's fine. All 84 of you can just like go with me on this, okay? Then at that point, you don't really even know what your channel's about. I don't know what my channel's about. I know that it's a beauty and lifestyle channel, and that's the type of content I make, but I don't really have a clear why. I don't have a clear community. I think most of y'all are just people that know me in real life and want to see me do something different, and that's awesome, and I really respect that. And you know, people supporting small businesses, small artists, small whatever, local talent is such a gift, and that's incredible, but it's not genuine in the eyes of the algorithm. You know what I mean? Like, my husband, he doesn't watch all of my videos. I don't want him to. It's very uncomfortable to imagine people watching my videos, especially this one, and I'm gonna have to edit it. But like, my husband is subscribed to maybe 3 channels. I subscribed him to Jenna Marbles a long time ago on accident, and he hasn't figured out how to unsubscribe. You're welcome, Jenna. He's subscribed to a cooking channel, and then he is subscribed to me. So YouTube is like, I don't know what this guy's into. But the content that he watches, you know, it varies from week to week, but it's generally, you know, food content, gardening content, engineering, automotive, and then this. So he doesn't necessarily help my analytics, because that's not my target demographic. You know what I mean? Because of that, you know, because a lot of you guys watch content that is in no way related to this. YouTube doesn't know where I fit in, you know? So it's not gonna know who to necessarily suggest my content to and that kind of stuff. So at this point, I'm just doing make-em-ups. Like, I'm just doing what I want because I want, and hoping that somebody else out there is into it, you know? I have no idea what this look is other than a metaphor. I'm just making the content that I want to make as I want to make it, the way I want to make it, the way I know how to make it, because I don't think I'm good at editing. My lighting is not great. Like, that's super dark back there. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I guess I'm trying to say that I don't know how to put the art into this yet. Like, obviously, despite what this look is looking like, I'm decent at makeup, and so I can put the art in that way. But I also have to be in charge of the art in terms of like the cinematography. That makes me sound like such a douche, because this is in no way like art. I basically just do rough cuts and throw some music over it. you know, and like, I don't want to minimize what I do because it does take a lot of effort and a lot of time, and, you know, especially effort in terms of me learning a skill that I've never had before and have no background in. I had never filmed or edited anything. I don't really have that much else to say, so we're gonna go right into mascara. I'm gonna use ColourPop BFF Volumizing Mascara. There, yeah, okay. Normally they just like chill and go to sleep. Like once the sun's down, they're down. But not today. This mascara is not bad. Ooh, it's like really smoothing my skin right now. I promise I have pores. So I need you guys to comment down below. A, because engagement helps my channel. So you talk to me, I talk to you. YouTube says, oh, that's good. And then, you know, deems me worthy of other people's eyes. So comment down below what kind of content you want to see from me. Do you want to see more cleaning? Do you want to see more makeup? What kind of makeup looks do you want to see? Because I'm realizing that I am deep in a makeup rut, hence why I've just thrown all of these things on my face to try and get out of it. If you want like an advice video, like I'm honestly down for whatever. You know, I guess that's really what it is. Finding the sweet spot of the content that I want to make and that people want to watch. I have so much lipstick on my teeth. I want to make content because I like making content, you know, just like I like making art, but I don't want to do it unless other people want to watch it. I mean, I do. I don't know. There's just got to be a middle ground for that. And I don't know what that middle ground is. So, okay. And then let's finish it off with Morphe Continuing Setting Mist, because I'm almost out of this. And I have a giant bin of empties to share with you guys. And I would... I'd like to add this to the list. I think that's going to be my face. I'm looking real dewy. All right. I hope this answered your questions. I hope this was somewhat interesting. And I hope you don't judge this eye look too badly, because that's really the worst part of this. Like if the rest of this face was there with like a super nude eye, like nothing on the lid, that would look way better. Let me know if any of this resonated with you. I hope it did. I hope that me sharing my struggles helps somebody. That'd be cool. So let me know. And you know, if you want to watch the rest of my videos and maybe like share them with people, that'd be pretty dope, right? Cool. Follow me on Instagram. It is at @EmilyFunBun. I haven't done this in so long. This is bizarre. At @EmilyFunBun on Instagram and Twitter. I have 0 Twitter followers, so let's improve that. Yes? Cool. I will see you guys soon with an empties video, and I have more lipstick on my teeth. Wow. Wow. An icon.